Hey y'all.
Hey y'all,
It is I and the infamous Kimberly Lynn,
aka Kim's Corner. What's up, y'all?
and we're doing the Black
Love
Love
Movie
Movie Challenge.
Challenge.
Go ahead, girl.
So, my Marlon Hayes gave me this challenge to do for my YouTube channel because recently we went to go see The Photograph, which is a Black Love movie. To me, that was a great movie because I love the whole courting and the attention giving and the hangout and getting to know each other. I loved it. I think that's how all black love should be. Courting and being together and enjoying each other's company. So,
What about what about the movie The Photograph relates most to you?
that's a good question.
Hey y'all, thanks for watching.
Hey y'all, thank you. What relates to me?
In the
about
movie.
it?
In the movie.
Oh my goodness.
Come on now.
It would have to be the hangouts and the getting to know each other, one another.
The hangouts.
Yeah. So the dates.
Yeah, they spent quite a bit of time together
to actually get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was no fakeness. It was comfortable.
Yeah, and it was on
No pressure.
Right. It was
no
on
pressure.
purpose. Them trying to get to know each other.
It was no pressure. I love the whole a person getting to know me, getting to know Kim, and me getting to know whoever.
Right.
It's no pressure. It's no, oh my goodness, is he gonna this? Am I gonna that? It's just easy, cool.
Right. So what was different about The Photograph that you didn't see in Love Jones and Boomerang and the other movies that you watched? What did you see in that movie that was different?
In the photograph.
In The Photograph, right.
That was different from the others. I would have to say the change in scenery. So you remember how at the end when Issa Rae's character flew to London?
Okay.
So I didn't see the scenery change in Love Jones or Boomerang or Brown Sugar. I didn't see the scenery change.
That's that's a good point.
Yeah.
I never even. Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's a good point. At the end of The Photograph, without giving away too much.
Yes, not trying to
not give away. Issa Rae's character went someplace else in search of the guy that she really was interested in and almost let get away. And they changed they went to a completely different venue.
Right.
It wasn't the same
typical
scenery.
Right.
Like the other movies were. The settings never really changed. Was it to New York? But yeah. But
in Love Jones, it was from Chicago to New York.
Yeah, but the interesting thing with Love Jones and The Photograph, because I know a lot of people compared those two movies, and I don't think there was really a comparison.
It was two totally different.
It was.
Yeah.
It was courting. It was, wanting to get to know each other, but I think it was less forwardness in Love Jones. I think it was more.
It was a lot of in my opinion, it was I saw a lot more discomfort in Love Jones because it was back and forth, back and forth. Whereas in the Photograph, it was no back and forth. It just went. You know what I mean?
It did go, but I think in the Photograph, there was still some apprehension.
Yeah.
In the Photograph, but with Love Jones, I don't know what you would. I don't know. It was a little different, but I don't know how to explain it. I guess.
Love Jones, it was, like I said, it was I saw a lot of discomfort, unsureness.
Okay.
Because,
uncertainty, yeah.
Yes, because it was, okay, I'm into you, let's get to know each other, but I still have some unfinished business. I'm still dealing with this. I'm not fully invested.
Okay. But in the Photograph,
it was full investment. It was full, I'm into you. I want to be with you. I want to see where this goes.
That's true. That was how the storyline they
portrayed it. Right?
Yes. Okay, so what we're talking about the Photograph and Love Jones, but you also watched Brown Sugar.
Yes.
What did you think about Brown Sugar?
Brown Sugar to me was, I couldn't have related to it so much.
Okay.
It reminded me of a friendship that I have currently, but I wish some things could have been different.
Okay.
But I enjoyed the whole childhood friendship and the growing up together and the in common homebody stuff.
What do you mean homebody?
So in Brown Sugar, Taye Diggs' character and Sanaa Lathan's character both met with the love for hip hop.
Okay.
And their love for hip hop is what developed their friendship. So, and Sanaa Lathan had in her monologue, she had said that hip hop made her feel at home.
Okay.
So here you are with Taye, you meet someone who also has a love for hip hop, who also agrees with hip hop is home.
Okay.
So, and then you both come together, and then you guys just become these two best friends who just evolve together with this seed. From this seed.
Okay.
Of loving hip hop.
And hip hop is, of course, music. Hip hop is an era. Hip hop, music told a story.
Yeah.
Most of us can, in my generation, who grew up listening to hip hop, can, without even blinking, when they hear a song,
they finish the lyrics. They quickly.
No, not finish the lyrics, but they can tell you exactly what was happening in their life, who they were dating, how old they were, how much fun they were having, how much fun they weren't having. And it's like music does that. Music creates that environment, especially hip hop. I mean, here we are. I'm 30 years out of high school, and the music that I listened to in high school is transcending. You listen to the music that I listened to in high school, and you love it, and you get out, and it means something to you. You know what I'm saying? Just like it means something to me. So in reference to the movie Brown Sugar, that music told a story about their lives. So they know when they started and how they met. And then it just continued on until they were adults and, had these different situations and these different things going on. And not even realizing that the music helped them to fall in love because it was home. It was part of their relationship.
And love that. I enjoy that. I would love to meet someone who has that in common.
The music, the love of music.
The love of music, where it's the love of music, the love of traveling, cooking, hanging out, spending time with family. Because I believe that's a plus. And it's less discomfort. It's less awkward. It will be more comfortable because
if you had those things in common.
Right.
And and you know, that's a really good point, because that just kind of explains a little bit how, well, not even a little bit, a lot, how what love means to you. Mm-hmm. How relationships are started and how they continue on. Mm-hmm. So the things that you just named really are how you feel inside about a person that you want to love, right, or who you want to love you. So that love of music, that love of traveling, that love of
spending time with family,
you know, doing those things together, those are the things that you see as very important in creating those connections with people. And that's what this live is about. We're talking about Black love movies, and you know, kind of what love means to us as a culture and individually.
Right.
You know, so Kim also watched
Boomerang.
Crazy.
That movie was hilarious. But it also, to me, pointed out to me on some women can do what men do.
Okay.
I thought Robin Givens' character was hit right on the head with women can do what men do.
In terms of what? Like getting even?
In terms
or being
of
dogs?
In terms of being dogs.
Okay, yeah. Definitely.
And Eddie Murphy's character was getting slapped in the face a little bit. So it was like, oh, dang. It can happen to me, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can. And I love that because it's like, yeah, you're not always going to meet the person.
Donna said Boomerang was her favorite Black romantic comedy.
It was. It made me laugh because it was like, men don't understand that not all women are the same.
And just like women they don't
understand that men
are not all the same. Boomerang wasn't anywhere a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily dislike it, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't dislike it. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the back and forth. I found that so amusing. Because I was like, wait, huh? I loved it. I loved it.
And the funny part about it is the reason why I loved to go back to the photograph, and I'm piggybacking off of your Boomerang comment, the photograph was probably the most real thing to me. Now, Brown Sugar and Love and Basketball. Yes. Love and Basketball probably is right under Love Jones for me. It might even be at the top of Love Jones for me. But the reason why I love the photograph so much was because emotionally it felt good. It felt good, the way, just the vibe, and it seemed the most relatable to me. It was so common. It was just that's what relationships do. It's like they don't have to be that complicated. Nope. Hey, Sissy Pooh, it doesn't have to be that complicated. And the photograph wasn't complicated.
It was very intuitive.
They had a few little glitches, but the glitches were nothing major. See, Kim, this is it did feel good. Now this Kim she went to grammar school with me. Well, she didn't. She was already gone by the time I got there. But this is she's a little bit older than me, but this is still her genre of movies. It is it feels, it's like when you watch these movies, I'm going back to the movies. I try to give Kim just information on the people who are watching. Black Love is about it's super comforting. It's about I'm sorry, y'all. I'm hearing something. It's about family. It's about
love.
Of course, it's about love, but it's about family. It's about connection. It's about Black people. You know what I'm saying? Black people. Mm-hmm. Being around Black people is not bad at all. Mm-hmm. It's just that with everything that's going on, the dynamics of everything have changed. And it puts things in a different perspective for us. But when you talk about Black love and you talk about family, those movies embody a lot of how we feel and what we see. And they don't have to be exaggerated. They don't have to be, you don't have to do anything more to be convincing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do anything extra to be convincing about Black love. And that's why I loved The Photograph, because it wasn't extra. It was just regular, everyday people being in love, having their little idiosyncrasies, and, just going through whatever they need to do to go through. And, making those jumps, doing what they need to do because they were in love and they wanted to be together and they wanted to be in love. That's really what it's all about. And that's what Black people do. Black people, and I'm sure most people who are in love, but I can only tell you about Black people. I can only tell you about my experiences. So that's why we're talking about the Black love movies. But that's what's important. So when you talk about the Love Jones and the Love and Basketball and Boomerang and Jason's Lyric,
and how Stella got her groove back,
and all of those Black, women finding power after divorce, and what's that, Waiting to Exhale, all of those situations, women and men in relationships for whatever reasons, and it is, that's us. Everybody, we go through things, even with Fences. Mm-hmm. Fences, there was a love there. It was Black love, and even though there was infidelity, there was still Black love. Because Viola Davis's character loved him. She loved him. Mm-hmm. And she was loyal to him, to a fault. And I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to ask for judgment or whatever. But, Black folks, we are loyal to a fault. We are absolutely loyal to a fault. And I'm not agreeing with infidelity being okay, but people have been unfaithful since the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. Monogamy is not necessarily a big thing. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's not a big thing in the Black communities, all of the time, because we have, people with different families and being married over here, but creating a family over there. That's all a part of our culture and our family makeup and our Black love. Mm-hmm. It's not about it being acceptable. It's not about it, being liked or whatever. It's just that's what has happened. So when you talk about black love movies, I think the best way to describe it for me is those movies do reflect our culture most times. And I don't mean, like I said, the exaggerated movies, not the things that make stuff so freaking unbelievable that it's not even, we can't even take it seriously. I'm talking about those movies, Why Did I Get Married? And, all of those movies that we can honestly relate to, and we can honestly feel the love, and we can see ourselves in those situations, in those relationships, and we can put ourselves there, and we can actually feel what's going on, and we can, it's just real for us. It's not a game for us.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I completely agree. It's very, like I said, it goes back to the in commonness and the comfort within the black culture.
Mm-hmm.
The home.
Yeah.
Because there's no place like home.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, if I was looking at somebody's comment, one of my Facebook friends, she said she didn't like it. She didn't like the photograph because it was compared to Love Jones, and she didn't feel like it even held up to Love Jones. And her cousin, who is also my cousin, was like, no, but wait a minute. And she started giving all of her reasons why she loved the movie and what she thought was good about it. And all of her reasons were the same reasons as mine. And but the main thought was, I didn't compare it to Love Jones. I just didn't, because it was two totally, I think, different meanings. Mm-hmm. I think it had two totally different meanings. And
it was a lot of, like I said, to me, the differences between the photograph and Love Jones was the scenery.
Yeah, the
change of scenery.
The scenery did change, and it was just, I think it was just more relatable for me because of how I felt when I was watching it. And it could be, it definitely could be because of where I am mentally now. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing.
Yeah.
The fact that these movies were all made when I was a younger woman, when I was in my 20s, or 30s. And now here it is, my 20-year-old is watching these movies, and she may have a totally different perspective on them than I did. Mm-hmm. Because
I felt that the photograph relayed more to me because of the love for traveling, the love for hanging out and being independent, and the attention, and investment.
Okay.
So, I love to travel.
Okay.
So for somebody who's invested in me and who wants to get to know the real me to come chase me somewhere that I'm vacationing or I'm on business.
Okay.
That means a lot to me. So it's like, well, dang, you really do love Kim. You know what I mean? Like if you come in a whole different time zone and taking the time out of your life to come see me and be with me,
right,
and come into my world.
Right.
That means a lot to me. So that's why I felt that the photograph related a lot more to me.
And you know what? To be perfectly honest, at 20 years old, I didn't have the perspective that you had about traveling. So at 20 years old, I was only wishing I could travel. Because when I was 20, I didn't think that I could. Going out of town with my parents and all of that stuff, I had been to lots of states by the time I was 20. Mm-hmm. But to really love travel and to think that I could do all the traveling that I've done in the last 10 or 15 years, mm-hmm. I never would have imagined. So to see somebody chase somebody across the country or across the world was probably unfathomable for mm-hmm. me. But for you like, oh, hell. That's the business. Because why? You travel, and that's not for you far-fetched. For you, that's normal. That's a normal thing. So for somebody to be able to come across the country or come across the world and be like, Kim, I want you. For you, that's what you're supposed to do. But for me, being a generation ahead of you, I'm like, no, I don't. Would you do that for me? You know, and that's because of our generations and the way that we think. So that's another perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a different perspective. Of course I'm gonna think differently about the movie. So I like that point. I like the point that you feel like people should do that for you because that's what you like to do. So in order for them to be able to pursue you and to reach you, they have to be willing to do those things. And that's true. That makes sense. So to be able to come across the world to be like, you know what, Kim, this is what I want to do. I want to do it with you. Heck, I would be impressed. I'll be impressed. And that's what the photograph, I did like that part of it, you know, because I never would imagine Marlon traveling across the world to come get me.
Or to come see you.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that he wouldn't, but right. I wouldn't, that wouldn't be something that I would just automatically know he would do. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I think, the movies that you watch were some of the best, but I mean, like, even Poetic Justice.
Poetic Justice.
Have you seen Poetic Justice?
I've seen it so many times.
I loved Poetic Justice because of the fact that Tupac was rough around the edges. And Janet Jackson was portrayed as this this good girl, or this girl that, you know,
has standards.
Yeah. Good. Has standards. Like, he didn't have standards, and there was nothing wrong with him. He was just, he was just a little rough around the edges. And I love that. I love Beauty and the Beast type things. I like it when men are portrayed as monsters and this woman comes along and she reaches them, you know. But the interesting thing about it is, I had to learn in my interaction with people and watching married people and watching relationships. Auntie Nadana is chiming in like crazy. Yeah. It was so raw. It was very raw. I think I lost my train of thought reading Nadana's comments.
You said
I was talking about
men were portrayed as
beasts and women are portrayed as beauties. I love the fact that, based on my experience and what I've learned, I love the fact that people make connections on so many different levels. So, yeah, he may be portrayed as this beast. And this is just me playing into the whole stereotype of Beauty and the Beast. I love it when people think that she softened him, or she removed these things, from him and she made him. I love that perception, because in all reality, he probably did more for her than she was doing for him. It was a 50-50 thing. So just like she may be softening his heart, he is strengthening hers. It works both ways. In order for two people to get along, they got to get along. In order for two people to gel and to make a connection, they got to have a connection. So you might see a person and be like, that dude is crazy. How is his wife so reserved? Because she really ain't reserved.
Right.
You understand? She's not as reserved as you think. She's just reserved in public. But in order for her to connect with him, there's got to be something for them to connect to. You know? So I think when we talk about relationships and we talk about people getting together, it has to be something that they connect. And it may not be the most obvious thing. You know what I'm saying? It's always what you least expect. You never know what is going to happen or how a relationship is going to form. It could be the most negative situation occurring, and as a result of that situation, you get your best friend. You never freaking know what is gonna make you connect. You never know. So, you all got anything else to say? We really appreciate you watching,
Yes,
and chiming in on, us talking about Black love, and, looking at some of the movies, and, giving us your ideas and thoughts
opinions
about, the Black love and how Black love is portrayed, and, what it means to you,
and how it should be.
And I think the most important thing that I would have to say is, I just think that, Black people get a bad rep a lot of times, and the real us is not shown for real. And the things that
especially in this generation, in my generation, it has totally descended.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it has totally descended, and I really feel that it needs improvement.
Yeah.
Because so much stuff is happening now, with the gun violence and the sex trafficking and the just everything that wasn't as bad back then as it is now.
Yeah. So I think our focus and our focus is more on negativity than it is on positivity. Because of all, like you said, because of all the stuff that's going on, we're not focusing on the things that we really need to focus on, because we're trying to deal with all of this nonsense that's going on. So we're talking about the families falling apart, and parenting is at its worst, and folks can't get jobs, and parenting is at its worst. I'm sorry, I said worst. I don't know why I said worst. Is it work? Wait a minute.
Worst.
It's at its worst. Lord. Anyway, I always try to speak correctly, and sometimes it just don't come out right, y'all. And I shouldn't be saying we are focusing on all of the things that are happening now, and we're not paying attention to the positive things that we really want to happen. And don't get me wrong, no one is more screwed up than anybody else.
Right.
So that's not even what it is. But I think that our families, Black families, are so struggling. I just believe it. I am working in a field where I see, how we failed our children. We failed our young men. We failed our young women. And so the imagery that we have out here is totally screwed up. So when you're looking at Black love, a lot of those folks are like, that don't exist. That don't exist in our world. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what they see. It really is in the movies for them. They don't have that relationship with their families, or they didn't see their mother and father kissing and hugging and tickling each other and rolling around on the floor like I did. You know what I'm saying? I saw that in my house. So I expect that from my husband. I expect that kind of situation in my life, because that's normal for me. But you don't, you will be surprised how many people are not experiencing that. You know what I'm saying? Nadana, what you saying? You see, I think I disagree. I feel like, especially on social media, people are so much more positive these days. Marlon is a great example of positivity. I mean, in reference to there are so many negative things happening. I'm only referring to, the stuff that's going on in the world. There are a lot of things that are happening, and not to say that it wasn't happening in the past or whatever. I think everything is relevant. Everything is relevant according to our times. But to me, it just, in my opinion, I feel like things are really, really bad now. I just feel like people are struggling more and giving up more. We're fighting more, and the focus is not on the things that that they should be on. That's just my opinion. It doesn't mean that there aren't good things happening, and it doesn't mean that the whole system is failing. I'm not saying that, but it's just, in my opinion, it just appears to be that we are not as focused on the important things anymore because of all of the nonsense that's going on. So, in reference to black love exists. Mm-hmm. I know it exists everywhere, but we don't see it as much. And when we see it, it's like it's fake or phony. Nobody really believes it. The percentage of it being believed is just like, oh, okay, they just faking, or, oh, that really don't, I've heard that so much. It's like, you see it on social media, Love and Hip Hop, all of these things, or people in your life, mm-hmm. A lot of times we don't believe it. And I mean, I've had too many conversations, and me included, saying things, like, that ain't, that, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean that I'm right or wrong. It's just my opinion. Mm-hmm. It's just what I see and what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with the whole how we get more, it's fake, it's phony, because nowadays it's Netflix and chill. Everything is on social media. It's not really a lot of face-to-face contact. It's a lot of phones. So the DMs and the FaceTimes and the text messaging and the Snapchats, it's not really a lot of face-to-face contact. So of course you're gonna get more, oh, he's just faking, or she's just faking, oh, we're just chilling, we just, it's nothing real. So, and I don't like that.
I think it's because it's less effort. People make less effort to be together mm-hmm. than they do to just be on the phone and FaceTime. Yep. And they, I'll FaceTime you. Sometimes that's as close as people can get. Mm-hmm. And that's not having a relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, if that's the only thing that you could do, I'm not talking about people who are overseas in the right. military, or maybe just incapacitated where they can't get up and walk around, mm-hmm. like we do with our grandson and all that other kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that. You know what I'm saying?
You're talking about people who literally live 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
Or 30 minutes away.
And won't make contact physical.
Right.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You can't have a relationship through texting. That's just.
I think I'm a perfect example.
You are, but that's just
right.
that is just a phone relationship.
Right.
That's not the relationship that you build off of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it didn't used to be that way.
Nope.
That was not acceptable. Unless you were having phone sex or something like that, and all you needed was just you know what I'm saying? But when you're talking about black love, black love for me represents being connected for real. What's Auntie saying? Social media has made us feel artificially connected, but it has helped us make connections to people we may not have otherwise. There are pros and cons to it. Yeah.
I agree.
I'm not in disagreement with you at all. All I'm doing is I'm not making a judgment. I'm just giving my opinion. There is no right or wrong. We're talking about the black movie, Black Love Movies challenge, and we talked about a few movies and what their significance was to us and what, the pros and cons of some of them or whatever. And now we're just having a conversation about love and black folks and how we relate and how we connect to all of that. So I'm glad we had this conversation, and Adana, I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
Chiming in, and Kim, I appreciate you chiming in also, and everybody who chimed in and who listened.
And who gave feedback, who gave their feedback and their personal views and comments to what Black love means to them, what the black movies mean to them. It was deeply appreciated.
Absolutely. So I don't know what Kim's Corner is going to do next, but I really wanted her to make sure that she followed through with this because it's a really cool topic, and we got a lot to talk about. Black folks have a plethora of things to talk about, and not to say that we have to just always talk about black folk stuff, but what's wrong with that?
Right.
What's wrong with us talking about black folk stuff? Because black folks are only going to be able to solve black folk problems. So if we don't talk about it and we don't have a dialogue and we don't figure out what things are going to work for black folks,
then nobody's going to know anything.
Nobody's going to know anything, and nothing's going to get fixed and nothing's going to get solved. So I think it's important that we talk about things that black folks like to do, things that black folks want to do, things that black folks need to do, Black love is important. I think black love is the impetus to take us far. And once we realize that, then we'll be able to move forward. But I think we don't have that love for our communities and for one another anymore. I truly believe that it is gone. It's a big disconnect with those that do and those that don't within the black community. And I understand, because we all can't go.
Nope.
It's just...
But we all can, though, too.
I think just based on socialism and capitalism and all of the isms, we understand that there are hierarchies. We understand that there are levels to this. We get that. But I think that if we all have a mutual respect and we all love our culture and we all operate in a manner so that everybody can win and we all really love each other, then...
And help each other.
But that's what that means. So if you love somebody, you're willing to help them. And if you receive the help, then you are humble and you are appreciative, and then you in turn reciprocate. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have that anymore. And I think that's a big problem. And the cause of that are a number of things. But I think that is the issue with black love for real. Black love. We have no respect for one another. Men and women don't respect each other. The roles have been switched, or the roles just haven't been defined. We don't know who's supposed to do what.
At this point, no.
And it's not even a sex thing. It shouldn't even be a male-female thing. It's just about we got to be responsible for the things that we do.
We have to make changes.
You have to make changes. It has to be everybody who's involved. And I think because nobody wants to make a change and nobody's doing anything, nothing is getting done. And that's ultimately what the issue is. So, thank y'all for chiming in.
Thank you so much.
Black love still rocks for me.
Me too.
Favorite movie of all time for you? Black love.
Oh. All time?
Yep. From in your 20 years of living, what is your favorite black love movie? Miss Cinephile?
Good. I am a cinephile. That's a good question.
Uh-huh.
I would have to say the photograph. I'm sorry. Like I said, it was head on.
Okay.
With hammer and nails, it was head on. I love because it, like I said, it relates more to me. I saw a lot of myself in it because of, the things I love to do. Mm-hmm. So I would have to say the photograph.
Okay, I would have to say for me, Love and Basketball. That was my favorite.
Love and Basketball.
Love and Basketball. Okay. Because it reminded me of myself and my boy BFF. Because that's how friendships start. By something so innocent and then it turns into something great. You know what I'm saying? And that, and not all relationships from childhood turn into that. But that is probably what I relate to the most. Right. Something so simple turning into something so very, very beautiful. So, Love and Basketball and the photograph. Okay. All right. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all showing up for Kim's Corner.
Thank you. I will put the link into my YouTube channel in the comments. So make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And thank you so much for all the support.
Hey, y'all. Life is beautiful. Check that out. Look at old Billy. Move that head out the way, Kim.
Billie Holiday. Yes.
Life is beautiful. Oh. Okay, y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Cousin Audrey was on. Grandpa was on. Aunt Donna was on. Morgan. Nigel. Hey, y'all. Carl. Hey. Everybody was on. Thank y'all. Talk to y'all later.
Bye.